Hello and welcome to another Warhammer the Old World video. Today I'm going to be painting a tomb scorpion. This is an old metal model that I obtained off eBay in its original blister pack. They're an absolute nightmare to glue together. The legs are the stuff of legend in gluing on, and I highly recommend that you get some milliput or green stuff to assist in putting the legs on. I've also 3D printed a base, as the base has changed in size from the one supplied, which was 50mm by 50mm square, to a rectangular base of 75mm by 50mm. So I've 3D printed one on my FDM printer. I'm now going to coat it. After having sprayed it with white spray, I'm going to coat it in AK Interactive's sand material, the same material that I've used for all my Tomb King's army. Now that I have finished the first stage of my base using the AK Interactive material, I'm now going to start with Pallid Bone on painting the scorpion. I'm going to paint the entombed Lich Priest or whatever guy it is on the back of the scorpion. You'll see anyway on the model exactly where I paint. This is probably going to be one of the easiest models to paint in the entire Tomb King army. You really would be hard pushed to mess this up. In following the Games Workshop style, I'm going to go grim black for the main body and the claws and parts of the tail of the scorpion. I've seen a couple done like this from Games Workshop and I quite like it. It makes the scorpion stand out a little from the rest of the Tomb King's army. This part of the painting is quite time consuming, so listen to the nice peaceful music and watch away. Once I have finished layering the black onto this model, I'm going to move back onto the base and put a layer of sand on it. It's just a matter of putting something down to catch the loose sand, putting your base on top and sprinkling sand. I would recommend a very fine grade of sand, otherwise it looks too rough, too stony and less sand-like. Now for the next stage, ordinarily I would go into my paint collection and dig out a light grey that I liked, but this time I'm going to mix a grey because I believe you can do it without any problems. I'm first going to start with a fair amount of white paint. That is whichever white colour you have chosen. I am going to use my game colour Vallejo Dead White because that's what I like to use. I'm now going to add one brush full of the grim black to the white and give it a good mix, and it brings up a nice grey colour. a nice grey colour which is very suitable for exactly what I want, and that is to produce a highlight on the Tomb Scorpion. So as you can see here, I'm giving it a healthy dry brush all over it pretty much, trying to avoid the sarcophagus part in the centre and the white areas that I've left white, but even if you hit them, it's no big deal. And now the sand on the base has had time to dry, I'm going to go in with some Screaming Skull and give it a dry brush. And I'm now going to come in with my chosen tufts, which are Highland tufts and Deadlands tufts from Army Painter. And I'm going to add a couple of different tufts to the base. Again, this is just to provide a nice little effect. It's very inexpensive to do so. You can buy a couple of packets of these tufts quite cheap from your local gaming store, or online if you have to go online. Apparently they are self-adhesive, although I do like to add a blob of PVA glue wherever I'm going to stick a tuft down. And then I use the butt end of a brush just to press the tuft down onto it. And lastly, I'm going to edge the base, and I'm going to use a flat earth colour. Use whichever colour you've chosen for your entire army. If you're starting here with a Tomb King's army, it's not a bad place to start. Actually, it's a really simple miniature to paint, and it looks quite good on the table, and especially when I add 2 or 3 more to the army. I'm now moving back to the Scorpion, and I'm going to use Hoplite Gold to paint all the areas that you see which are white. That is the head, parts of the tail, the stinger, and the teeth of the claws. I'm going to paint gold. There's also a little rod in the hand of the dead guy in the back of the Scorpion. I'm going to paint that gold. Hopefully you can see exactly here what I'm doing. And now the final step, Agrax Earthshade from Citadel. I'm going to give all the gold areas on the Scorpion a healthy coat of Agrax Earthshade. It just dulls the gold down a little and adds some shading. If you feel that the gold has been dulled down too much by the Agrax Earthshade, you can go back in once it's dry and give it a highlight with the original gold colour, although I don't feel the need to do that with this model. And that's it, job done. Scorpion completed and ready for warfare, ready for battle, and hopefully ready to use his monster killing ability on a few horrible Bretonnians. But that remains to be seen. Anyway, these are super easy to paint. Though unfortunately they're not super easy to buy, thanks to GW and their stocking issues. Although from what I hear, the new ones are resin, and the resin should be a lot easier to put together than the metal ones of old. Although don't let that put you off buying a metal one if you get one at a reasonable price. Also, remember the green stuff or the milliput for putting those legs on. It will save you a lot of heartache. I hope this has been of some use to you. If it has, please click the subscribe button if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.